Hi, everyone. It's Tisha, and you were tuning in to Tisha Talks Live. Happy Thursday. It is 4:45, so you know what time it is. This is a chance where at 4:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I get to go live for however long, 4:45 to 5 usually, and just share a question of the day, a topic of the day, something that's on my mind, or introduce you to some really cool people doing some cool stuff. And today I'm talking about this question: are you missing the signs? So before we jump into today's topic, hey, Nat, I just want to say thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see you, Linda, tuning in on LinkedIn. So this is airing off of Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. And so you'll see people coming in. Hey, and I think I'm saying, is it Marquet? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on LinkedIn. But if you are tuning in, feel free, just like these lovely folks are doing, send me a little message, give me a little emoji like Marquet did here. Awesome. Thank you. And ask me anything. Ask me any questions pertaining to what we're chatting about, or dive in and share your story. So the chat line is open. Make sure you send me a little comment or message. And if you are catching this on the replay, we love replays here. And I do go back in and check all the comments as well. So make sure to tag me, make sure to post something, and I can get back to you that way too. So I've been asked this question a lot. Matt, actually, I'm going to give him the credit for this. He said, Tisha, what if people miss all your Tisha Talks lives? You have a lot of great nuggets. You're sharing a lot of good stuff. What if we miss it and we don't know where to find the replay? You're right, Nat. Like it's hard to find them on Facebook. It's hard to find them on LinkedIn. You kind of have to scroll through. I've had people miss the lives because they didn't know where to look. So I'm going to give you a very, very good tidbit here. My YouTube channel has a whole playlist for every Tisha Talks live I've ever done in my whole life, starting in September. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. Bruce joining me from the California, Southern Cal area. So yes, Tisha Talks Live is on YouTube, the whole thing, since I started, every single episode. So if you're like, I really like this girl and I like what she talks about, she's kind of funny, yeah, that's a great place to look. So you can binge watch all you like, you can comment and all that, and I'll get those too. So, all right, so today we're talking about are you missing the signs? And I hope you guys are not jumping off for this, because I'm going to share a little Tisha-ism with you, a funny little story that happened last night that prompted me to talk about this today. In fact, I had no idea what I was going to talk about today. I kind of come up with these questions on the fly and then flesh it out. But this one really stuck with me, and I think that it'll make a lot of sense as I go through it. So real quick here, are you missing the signs? So yesterday, my son Caleb, he plays soccer, and his soccer practice goes from 7:30 to 9 p.m. It's pretty late. And I offered to take him. My husband usually takes him to soccer practice. And I was like, I will take him because it's an hour and a half of solid time where I can sit and do notes for my real estate classes that I'm currently taking. So I have my notepad, I've got my note cards, I've got my highlighter, I got the book, I'm doing all this stuff. And an hour and 15 minutes goes by, and I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom, and nobody around. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to go to the complex. They're still practicing. I'm getting out. And I was in such a rush. That I walked into the bathroom. I'm doing my business, and I look up, and there's all these signs that say, guys, if you need to sprinkle, lift up the seat. Okay, so clearly you guys know. Yes, Bruce, this is my Tisha-ism. My best friend Gwen gives me this name because she's like, Tisha, sometimes you just don't have that common sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So you guys see the point here. I go into the bathroom and I'm in the boys' bathroom. If you didn't catch it, I'm like, signs all around me, urinals all around me. I went into the stall and there's all these signs plastered around the bathroom that says, hey, Tisha, yeah, you're in the wrong bathroom. And luckily, it was so dark and so late at night that nobody was in there. I could not even imagine if I just did that and it was completely occupied, full of soccer kids, boys doing their business, staring there and looking at me. So, little story for you that I totally missed the sign, right? I went out of the bathroom and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm totally in the boys' bathroom. and I'm a mom of one of the soccer boys. Can you imagine if all of his soccer friends were there and they're like, your mom just went into the boys' bathroom? I don't know if you caught that. So anyway, I just want to give you that little story because it segues so perfectly into this topic of, are you missing the signs? And when I talk about the signs, sometimes they're so obvious that everybody can see them except us. Sometimes they're smacking you in the face and you're like, what sign? I don't see the sign. What is it? So I want to give you some examples of when you might be missing the sign. Are you missing the sign when signs like you need to be more present in your life, that you're missing out on important moments, that your kids are telling you to put the phone away and start being more active and start being here with me? Are you missing the signs in your relationships? Is your relationship starting to kind of, go downhill? And it's a sign that you need to invest in your relationships, whether that's with your significant other, whether that's with your friends, your family, your close family, whatever that is. Have you been making time, or are they giving you the signs, or maybe they're giving you the cold shoulder because you haven't been more present with them? Are you needing to listen more? Are we doing more talking and not enough listening? I just heard that from a client today, that she had a very bad experience with one of her clients because he was telling her all of these things and she wasn't paying attention. That's a big, big sign that also is a loss of income for you. Are you paying attention to your health? And when I say that, how many of you have been this type? I made a cup of coffee. I've warmed up the coffee 4 times now. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and yet I still haven't eaten lunch. My stomach is growling. I'm getting irritable, and I'm starting to get a headache, but I'm going to just keep working through the pain. Hey, that's a really big sign that you need to stop, slow down, and you need to go get some nourishment to keep on going. We always miss the signs, or we tend to neglect the signs. And that's what this segment is about. This segment is about stop missing the signs. And in a second, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. But essentially, this is about taking care of you. It's about taking care of others. And it's about always paying attention. I would say that a lot of us are in such a big rush. We're like rush, rush, rush mode, that we can't just settle down, slow down. And that's when we start to miss all of these oblivious things flying right past us. So how do we do that? Well, I like to share this great tip. And I learned this, I can't take credit for it, but I learned this a couple of years ago from a good friend, Elisa Rogoff. And she was telling me that she uses this power of 3. And I have been practicing this because if there's one thing that I cannot stand, it's feeling this sense of overwhelm all the time, like feeling like I can't catch up, I can't get ahead, I'm always behind the 8 ball, and that's never a good feeling. So I like what Elisa said of do the power of 3, like set your day. What are you going to do? What are 3 things that you need to accomplish? And just put 3 things on your list. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Nothing else. So that when you finish those 3 things, you're like, yes, I did it. I did it. It's not this, oh crap. Okay, now I have to pull all these things to the next day, to the next day. And it's this constant overwhelm that you have. Hey, Emmy, good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Good to have you here. Today we're talking about, are you missing the signs? And I'm sharing with you, I just shared the power of 3. So take that into consideration. Are you adding a to-do list that's pages and pages and pages long, or are you doing 3 things on your day so that you go to bed at night, sleeping really well, feeling refreshed, feeling re-energized, and feeling recharged to take on the next day? That's what we need to get back to. No more feeling of overwhelm and not eating our Hot Pockets till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or warming up our coffee for the 5th time today. Take a break, slow down a little bit. The other thing, and I want to point this out, and this is a good friend of Bruce, he actually recommended us, Dr. Alice Kirby. Bruce, if you remember, in one of my live streams on Casual Convo Friday, she said something that was just so dang important. You ready for it? She said this especially for ladies. She said, ladies, we always overestimate what we can do in a day, and we underestimate what we can do in 30 days. So again, going back to that essence of time, do you need to get it all done today? Are you shortchanging yourself in areas of your life? Are you missing the signs that your health is in danger, that your relationships are in danger, that your self-care is in danger? Are you? Because that's a big sign that you need to slow down to speed up. All right. So I really, really love that saying of stop overestimating what you can do in a day and start underestimating what you can do in 30 days. When you take something and you take a project and you start to spread it out over the course of a couple of days of knowing that you're 100% in and you can do it to the best of your ability, doesn't that feel so much better than rushing through and not paying attention and missing things, missing deadlines, missing simple things, missing typos, all of this? So slow down to speed up. All right, I'm going to look at some of these comments that we've got here. Great to have you. Yes, Emmy on Facebook. Bruce, let's see what you have here. Tisha Marie Pelletier, as you know, I love the power of three things, especially syncopating three words together. Yes, absolutely. Overwhelm. You also wrote overwhelm is disabilitating. It really is. It really is. Like, I'm going to just share. I have a lot of stories, especially in my last book called What Are the Odds? Where if you've read that book or if you are reading it or if you've listened to the Audible at all, you see where I'm missing the signs. You see where my marriage is in peril, where my kids and I are having a hard time because I'm not as active or as present as I want to be. You can see where I'm working myself to crazy tears. And it's hard, but I really shifted in the way that I look at life because life's so damn short to be working nonstop, to not be enjoying your family just for the sake of money. Can I get an amen? I'm going to just say that, okay? Life's too short to put everything else on the back burner to just solely focus on your work, thinking that when I get there, it'll happen. When I get there, everything will be better. I'm going to say, why can't you have it both ways? Why can't you have your family, your friends, your relationships, your health, eating right, sleeping better, all of that, and the work that you love to do? Why not? Why not? All right, Nat, I know you have some good nuggets here. I'm going to put this up on the board. It says, we have a tendency to habitually rush through life. We move through our worlds from one thing to another with pressured, driven detachment, always on to the next thing, squeezing things in, multitasking, getting things done, not connecting, not being truly present. Oh my gosh, you said it. You said it. That was awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for that comment. Thank you so much. Even Bruce is like, yay! Awesome. Yes, absolutely. We are so pressured for time. All of us have 24 hours in a day. Yes. But I choose to only work this amount on my business. I choose to also have this dedicated time for me, this dedicated time for my spirituality, this dedicated time for my family. That's okay. That's living a harmonious life. It cannot be all work, 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 and then family over here. Because what happens? It's just like I'm saying, it's just this question of we're missing the damn sign. Just like I missed the bathroom sign yesterday, missing the signs. And what happens when we miss those signs? What happens? You guys know what happens when we miss those signs? Things get chaotic. We start to have uncomfortable confrontation with the people that we love and value the most. We start to feel our health decline. We start to lose sleep. We start to stress. It's just like Bruce said earlier, overwhelm is debilitating. It truly is. So I don't want you to miss any more signs. I want you to slow down, take a pause, no more multitasking because multitasking is actually not a good thing. I think that Nat, would you agree that I think that there's so many people years and years ago that said multitasking is the new thing. We need to be multitasking. That's the way we get things done. And I bought into that. I truly, truly bought into that because I thought that that's how you get things done. And that was at the time when I was running 3 businesses, had 2 kids under 4 years old, and I was losing my ever loving mind. Every relationship I had, including my own relationship with self, was falling through the cracks. And this whole idea of multitasking is not a good idea because we can't be present in the moment on several things. We can be present on one thing in the moment right now. So what's it going to be? What's it going to be? That's how we stop missing the signs. Yes. Yes. And that's even saying this. No, multitasking. You actually get less done. Absolutely. You don't get anything done. And if you do, is it haphazard? Is it the quality of work that you want to put out? Is it the quality time that you put in with your family? I mean, how many times have you seen people? Oh my gosh, okay. I'm just going to say pet peeve. For those of you still tuning in, pet peeve of mine, going to a restaurant, seeing this cute couple, they're all dressed up, it's just the two of them, and they're like on their phones. They're not paying attention to each other. They're more consumed with their social media or what's for dinner or whatever the hell they're doing, and they're not talking to each other. How many of you have witnessed that? I've seen that so many times. People on dates and they're not even consumed with each other. They're consumed with technology. That's something that has to go. That is something where you're missing the sign. The person is right in front of you. And that if that relationship means a lot to you, then you'll put the effort in. You won't be multitasking and you'll actually invest in the relationship. So I've gone off on a lot of tangents tonight because I feel like this is such an important topic of not missing the signs and paying attention, and not just paying attention to what's going on around you, but really paying attention to your instinct and your intuition too. I had a pretty big health scare. My dad actually in 2013 wound up in life support with sepsis, and he was on life support. We didn't know if we were going to, if he was going to make it or not. And shortly after, I went on this detox, and I wrote about this in my last book. I went on this detox and I was working like crazy, but I was like, I've got to lose that weight. This is the way to do it. And I lost all this weight, and then I started feeling so crummy, like crummy to the point where I had 104 temp, dripping like just sweat crazy. Went to the doctor. They told me nothing was wrong. It was just the flu. And I was like, something is wrong. Something is wrong. And when you have a family member, someone that has gone through sepsis, it's like the silent killer. It's like the urinary infection that gets caught into your bloodstream, and then everything starts shutting down. Every organ in your body starts shutting down, and you don't even know what's happening because a lot of times it's asymptomatic. And that's exactly what I was going through. And had I just avoided it and said, I'm just going to keep working through the pain and losing the weight and all this, I probably wouldn't even be here by now. I probably wouldn't have made it because that runs in my family. So again, trusting your intuition, not missing the signs, taking action, slowing down, all really, really good things. All right. I like this. Let me see, Bruce. What did you say here? You said, Wifey and I have a 15-minute minimum curfew from our smartphones over dinner time. I like that. Yeah, setting healthy boundaries. If you have to use your phone, by all means. But if you are sitting there at a restaurant and all you're doing, you're not even talking to the person you're with, you're just talking to your phone, not a good idea. Not a good idea. We need to be setting some healthy boundaries. All right, guys. Well, I know we are past the time, 5 o'clock. I want to just say thanks so much for tuning in. A lot of great comments. And yes, Bruce was mentioning my YouTube channel because he subscribed to it earlier. And yeah, that's where you can find all the Tisha Talks Live. They actually air there as well as on Facebook and on LinkedIn. But that's a great place if you just like, I just want to see what other nuggets of wisdom this girl talks about. I talk about a lot, so feel free to have fun with it. And I'll post the comment in all of these chats too on how to connect with me on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. But I just want to say thanks so much. We made it another week down. Let's see, what's this? This is the third week of the new year. And we made it. Hey, we're growing strong and doing good things. Next week, I have a couple of guests, or at least one guest coming on to join me on Tuesday, I believe, Kathy Droz. And so we'll be chatting it up on another episode of Tisha Talks Live at 4:45. But hey, thanks so much. I do appreciate you for being on and asking some great questions and chiming in and just being present with me. And I will catch you back next week, back on Tuesday, live at 4:45. Hope you have a great week and a great weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.